Okay, well, welcome to Ajarn Eddie. So today, what we're going to talk about is something that's not always that's not very that can lead to not being very positive. So today, what we're going to talk about are common country stereotypes. Okay, so generally, stereotypes not a good thing. Even myself, I find myself sometimes making generalizations or stereotypes, but generally, this is not a good thing. Even if you try to make it come off to be positive, sometimes it can be twisted in a way to be negative. But generally speaking, not a good idea to use stereotypes. But what we're going to talk about today are just some common stereotypes around for each country around, not for each country, but for many countries around the world. And so I'm going to try my best today to keep it positive. Okay. So let's get started here. So the first one is, well, here we go. I guess I already gave you the answer. The first one is vodka. Okay. And then when many people think of vodka, they think of Russia. Okay. And again, this, I don't know, maybe not so positive, but yeah, really, this is the only one I can think of for Russia. But next one. Okay. So the next one is football. So now soccer or football, very famous in many different countries. Probably the number one sport in many countries outside of North America. But yeah, when people think of football, they think of the country that kind of took football global as a sport, and that would be the UK. And so I know that they're very famous for having a lot of pride in their football teams or football clubs. Next, hamburger or cheeseburger, obviously. America. That's what Americans are known for, eating a lot of junk food, especially a lot of hamburgers. Even though I believe that hamburgers originated in Germany, hence the Germantown Hamburg. But Americans are the one that made hamburgers and junk food kind of global, took it global. I know when I go back home, even though I haven't been back since 2014, but every time I go back, I'll eat a meal. We'll go to a restaurant with my family, and I'll maybe eat half of the food. But then after 1 week, then I can eat the full meal. So Americans eat large portions, and it's non-biased. You know, I am an American, but living abroad. But yeah, Americans eat a lot of junk food, especially hamburgers. Next is we have kimchi. So kimchi, of course, South Korea. So I love kimchi, but for me, South Korean kimchi is a little too spicy. But I do love kind of tamed down kimchi. So kimchi that's not so spicy. Next, we have sushi, Japan. So actually, many people don't realize this. I didn't realize this until I was teaching in Japan, and one of my, I guess, older Japanese students, I think he was maybe close to 70, and he told me that before World War II, sushi was considered an afternoon snack. Now it can be kind of like, in some cases, more of like a delicacy. So since Japan took sushi global, many people love sushi around the world, and it's in high demand, and so maybe that's why the price shot up. But yeah, but if you have a chance to go to Japan, make sure you try the sushi, because the sushi in other countries not as good. And I know I live in Thailand, and when I go to the night market, the sushi is not so great, not so fresh. And then I know the sushi I had in America, it was like a different color, so it's kind of strange. But yeah, the sushi in Japan, especially the tuna, very, very delicious. Next is we have curry. Okay, so when we think of curry, obviously we think of India. And there are different versions of curry, but I guess when you mention the word curry, India comes to mind. And yeah, again, similar to the kimchi, is I prefer some of the non-spicier curry. So yeah. Next we have our they are fortune cookies. And so fortune cookies. If you go to an American restaurant, if you go to a Chinese restaurant in America, you're always going to expect a fortune cookie at the end of the meal. So the waiter or waitress, they'll bring you a fortune cookie, you break it open, and then you read your fortune. I didn't find out until recently because when I work at a university in Thailand, and many of the students are from China. They don't know what a fortune cookie is, so I was very surprised. Later, I found out that it was actually the fortune cookie came about by a Japanese businessman in America. So it sounds like that maybe they use it as like a business strategy to create more business. Okay, or to create a new tradition for American Chinese restaurants. Okay, next we have Kangaroo. So obviously that's Australia. And another thing I found kind of surprising was that I was watching this YouTube video, and there's this one place in Australia you can actually eat a kangaroo burger. So that's not something that I want to try. But okay, next we have tacos, Mexican food. I love Mexican food. Living abroad, it's kind of hard. When you live abroad, you're going to find out some of the country's food, it's going to be changed. Like, for example, kimchi. Kimchi in South Korea, I've heard very, very spicy. One of my students in Japan, she was from Korea. She gave me some gave me some kimchi. I couldn't eat it. It was too spicy. And likewise, with Mexican food, you're going to expect like real Mexican food versus American Mexican food. It's going to be a little different. But I found out that there's this one restaurant here in Thailand. It's called Quesadilla. Oh, no, not quesadilla. Sorry, que pasa. No, I'm thinking of the quesadillas that they make at que pasa. It's really, really good. All right, so if you're in the area, I think it's in Tanyaburi. It's so delicious. Their Mexican food, it's just like an American Mexican restaurant. Okay, next is we have hockey. Okay, of course we think of Canada. Well, you come to mind is also Russia and Canada, but more recently, in the past couple decades, it's been Canada. So I know that they're very proud of their hockey teams. So yeah, I heard that I watched a video once of Michael J. Fox, and he said that people they learn to skate as soon as they learn to walk. So yeah, hockey very popular in Canada. Next is we have beer. Okay, of course we think of Germany. I know many people think of America being a big beer drinking country, but I read that beer originated in Germany, and also of course Germany, they have Oktoberfest, which is a famous beer drinking festival. Now we have reggae, Jamaica. Okay. Now Muay Thai, Thailand. Of course, Muay Thai, it's Thai boxing. And my wife is Thai, and she told me that kids here, they actually learn Muay Thai in school at a very early age. All students are required to learn some form of Muay Thai, at least like a beginning level. Next, we have rugby. Of course, New Zealand. They have a very popular rugby team. Baguettes, France. Okay, France is very famous for all their breads and pastries. Next is we have bullfighting. Okay, Spain, and also in Spain they also have the running of the bulls. Red hair, Ireland. Okay, so I know I have some. Actually, my younger brother, before he shaved his head, he had red hair. Okay. Oh, so being late. So Thailand. Okay, so this is something that most Thai people don't know about, but the foreigners in Thailand here, we have a concept we call Thai time. So if you're expecting someone to be on time, don't hold your breath. Okay, because many times Thailand it's not considered rude to be late. In other countries, like I lived in Japan, it's considered rude to be late, but in Thailand it's commonplace. So I know I teach at a university here in Thailand, and and students Thai students are routinely late, and also teachers. It's not uncommon to see teachers late, maybe 15 to even sometimes 30 minutes late to class, but not me. Okay, next, guns. Okay, America. Okay, so here's a strange fact or surprising fact I found out was that actually there are more guns than people in America. So yeah, it's very, very. But the thing I realize is not all people have guns. So I've never owned a gun before. I probably won't. I really have no need for it. But I know some Americans, they have different hobbies, either gun collecting or hunting, or which I think is okay, just so long as they don't use it to kill people. So yeah. But yeah, one strange story was when I was teaching in Japan one time. I had this kind of like junior high school student. She came up to me and she asked me, "Oh, teacher, do all girls in America have pink guns?" So I said, "No, that's not the case." But and so that's how a common stereotype can kind of turn negative, where everybody has a stereotype that, or people have stereotype that all Americans have guns, which is not true. And then they take it even further, where they start something. They start a rumor, or they spread what they believe is a fact, but it's actually false. Where this girl asked me, "Did all little girls in America have pink guns?" So that's how stereotypes can be a negative thing. So I try not to use them so much, but I'll be honest with you, I'm guilty. I mean, I use them sometimes subconsciously, without thinking about it. Next, okay, oil. So of course oil, Saudi Arabia. So when you think of oil, you think of Saudi Arabia. All right. So I want to thank you for joining me here today. Okay. So, but if you have a chance, please join us on some of our other social media sites. So I'm going to have it like a different kind of format for each site. Here on YouTube, it's going to be more kind of laid back, relaxed. I might tell some stories about topics. But if you go on the top, Twitter, they only allow. Instagram, they only allow 60 seconds. So I'm gonna go boom, 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 right through it, because the videos can only be 60 seconds, so it's gonna go really, really fast. Twitter, that's a little less fast. It's gonna be about 2 minutes and 20 seconds, so it's gonna be fast, but not as fast compared to Instagram. And then Facebook is going to be a little more laid back. Videos are going to be anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes long. And then for the YouTube videos, they tend to be a little bit longer, anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. Okay, yeah. But again, So I look forward to seeing you on our other social media sites. Thank you.